1. What is the main responsibility of a notary public in Vermont? A. To create legal contracts. B. To witness the signing of documents. C. To provide legal advice. D. To notarize documents for a fee. 2. Which of the following is required for a notary public to be commissioned in Vermont? A. Proof of being a U.S. citizen. B. A valid Vermont driver's license. C. Successful completion of an exam. D. A criminal background check. 3. What is the maximum fee a Vermont notary may charge for performing a notarial act? A. $5 per notarial act. B. $10 per notarial act. C. $25 per notarial act. D. $50 per notarial act. Or, which of the following is a prohibited action for a Vermont notary? A. Refusing to notarize a document based on personal preference. B. Notarizing documents in the presence of the signer. C. Notarizing documents for immediate family members. E. Notarizing documents with a valid ID. 5. What is the required procedure for administering an oath in Vermont? A. The notary must swear the individual in and sign the document. The individual must make a verbal oath while the notary is present. C. The notary must write out the oath and ask the individual to sign it. D. The notary must keep a record of the oath in a separate log. 6. Which of the following is a legal form of identification for a notary public in Vermont? A. Employee badge. E. Vermont driver's license. C. Social security card. D. Voter registration card. 7. What should a Vermont notary do if they suspect a signer is being coerced into signing a document? A. Continue the notarial act and proceed with the transaction. B. Immediately refuse to notarize the document. C. Call law enforcement to report the incident. D. Ask the signer to provide additional identification. 8. How long is a Vermont notary's commission valid? A. 2 years. B. 4 years. 6 years. D. 10 years. 9. What is the primary purpose of the notarial journal in Vermont? A. To record the notary's business activities. B. To track the notary's income. C. To maintain a record of all notarized acts performed. D. To record the notary's fees charged. 10. In Vermont, what is the penalty for a notary who performs an act of fraud? A. Loss of commission only. B. A fine of up to $500. C. Imprisonment and loss of commission. D. A warning from the Secretary of State. 11. What is the recommended practice for a notary public to ensure they are properly identifying a signer? A. Rely on the signer's verbal confirmation. B. Request 2 forms of government-issued ID. C. Ask for a witness to verify the signer's identity. D. Use biometric authentication devices. 12. What should a Vermont notary do if a signer refuses to sign a document in their presence? A. Notarize the document anyway. B. Not notarize the document and report the incident. C. Proceed with the notarization with the signature omitted. Ask the signer to sign the document outside the notary's presence. 13. A Vermont notary is asked to notarize a document with a blank space. What should the notary do? A. Notarize the document anyway. E. Refuse to notarize the document until all blanks are filled. C. Complete the blanks themselves. D. Allow the signer to fill in the blanks later. 14. In Vermont, a notary is required to verify that a signer is competent. Which of the following is a sign that the signer may not be competent? A. The signer presents a government-issued ID. B. The signer is acting under duress or seems confused. C. The signer is signing a document in front of a witness. D. The signer refuses to provide a thumbprint. 15. Which of the following is the most important consideration when performing a notarial act in Vermont? A. Ensuring the signer's payment is processed. E. Ensuring that the signer understands the document. C. Ensuring the notary is compensated adequately. E. Ensuring the notary's signature is legible. 16. A Vermont notary is asked to notarize a document signed outside of Vermont. What must the notary do? A. The notarization is not valid in Vermont. The notary must verify the out-of-state signing requirements. C. The notary must notify Vermont authorities before proceeding. The notarization is valid as long as the document is notarized by an out-of-state official. 17. A Vermont notary is presented with a document that does not have a signature. What should the notary do? A. Refuse to notarize the document. Witness the signature and notarize it. C. Notarize the document with the signature omitted. D. Sign the document themselves as a witness. 18. In Vermont, what action can a notary take if they believe a document being notarized is fraudulent? A. Proceed with notarization and report later. B. Refuse to notarize the document and report it immediately. C. Continue notarizing but inform the signer of potential fraud. D. Call a lawyer for advice before proceeding. 19. What document must a Vermont notary maintain to prove the notarial acts they've performed? A. A notarial seal and a witness. B. A financial ledger. C. A personal logbook. D. A professional license. 20. A Vermont notary is commissioned but decides to stop notarizing. What must they do to legally end their commission? A. Inform the Secretary of State in writing. B. Submit a final report to the Secretary of State. C. Surrender their notarial seal and commission. D. Notify all clients of the cessation. 21. Which of the following is an example of a notarial act that a Vermont notary is authorized to perform? A. Providing legal advice. B. Witnessing the signing of documents. C. Preparing legal documents for clients. D. Preparing and filing documents with the court. 22. When a Vermont notary performs a notarial act, they must: A. Keep a personal copy of all documents notarized. Ensure that the document is dated and signed. C. Record the notarial act in a journal. D. Charge the signer a fixed fee set by the state. 23. A Vermont notary is performing a remote online notarization. Which of the following must be true? A. The notary and the signer must be in the same room. B. The notary must see the signer's face in real time. The document must be printed before notarization. D. The signer must be physically present in Vermont. 24. What is the role of a notary when they are required to administer an oath? A. To provide the oath and witness the signer's signature. B. To create the legal document after the oath is taken. C. To ensure the individual understands the consequences of lying. D. To ask the signer to take the oath in writing. 25. What is the penalty for a Vermont notary who fails to perform their duties properly? A. A fine and imprisonment. B. Loss of commission and possible legal action. C. A warning and a requirement for additional training. D. A suspension for 6 months. 26. A Vermont notary must refuse to notarize a document when: A. The signer is unable to provide valid identification. B. The document contains a vague signature. C. The signer asks for assistance with legal language. D. The document is notarized by another official. 27. A notary public in Vermont must complete which of the following tasks before performing a notarial act? A. Verify the signer's identity. E. Confirm the legality of the document. C. Read the entire document aloud. D. Ensure the document is properly notarized by another authority. 28. When a Vermont notary is unsure about the validity of a document, they should: A. Notarize the document anyway. B. Ask the signer for clarification. C. Consult with a legal professional before proceeding. D. Contact the Vermont Secretary of State for guidance. 29. In Vermont, when must a notary take a thumbprint? A. When the document is a real estate deed. B. When the signer is a minor. C. When the document involves a financial transaction. D. When the notary has a suspicion of fraud. 30. A Vermont notary is not allowed to offer notarization services for free. B. Notarize documents related to their personal interests. C. Perform notarization for the elderly. D. Accept payment for notarization services. 31. Which of the following is an appropriate way for a Vermont notary to handle a notarized document? A. Keep a physical copy of the document for the record. E. Provide the notarized document to the signer immediately. C. Keep the document for personal use. D. Submit it to the Secretary of State for review. 32. How often must a Vermont notary renew their commission? Every year. B. Every 2 years. Every 4 years. D. Every 5 years. 33. What is the primary purpose of a notary's journal in Vermont? A. To track the number of clients served. B. To document the details of each notarial act performed. C. To keep a list of all notarized documents. D. To calculate the notary's income.